Hello everybody, welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week. But before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to all my patrons. There's no new patrons this week, but what I'm going to do is actually courtesy of Into the AM. I mentioned they sponsored the channel last week by giving me this hoodie. That's what they did. So, I mean, they sponsored me. And I gotta say, I don't really normally like pullover hoodies because I find them too heavy and I get too hot. I usually want something that's got a zip in the middle so I can just flap it out. But it's really lightweight and it's really cozy. And of course it friggin' is because it's Into the AM. So what I'm going to do, because now I'm signed up for their like referral program, and part of their like referral bonus is whenever you get enough people to use the referral code Slippery Jim, which is the correct referral code to use, you can save 10% off on basically anything. They've got a Black Friday sale going on. They sent me a bunch of gift certificates, $25 off gift certificates. And they're like, you can just use these. You can give them to family or friends. And I thought, well, at first I thought, okay, I'm going to go get a bunch of stuff for myself. And then I thought, well, no, don't be selfish. You already have so many cool clothes. I'm going to give them back to my Patreon community. So if you're not signed up for Patreon, well, it sucks to be you. But every week I'm going to do a draw from any Patreon members. And if you don't want it, then I'll just contact you. You're going to automatically be entered to win. And if you don't want it, then we'll just roll it over to the next one, essentially. Or you can give it to somebody. I don't know. They're great quality clothing. I really, really like it. So yeah, just as a thank you to all of my patrons who have supported the channel. And if you want to support the channel, well, hey, you'll be entered to win as well. I guess it's a carrot to do it. I don't know. I kind of don't want you to do it just to sign up for the Patreon. I kind of just, so I just wanted to commit to it here. But yeah, we've got a friggin' great community. We've super generous people all the time. We're doing a little Secret Santa. People have been signing up for Secret Santa, which is cool. And I figured I would be the secretest Santa and not be a secret at all and just do this every week leading up to Christmas. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And if I forget, remind me. That's also why I'm putting it in a video. But we're gonna get into the week, starting off with Eldertide. Eldertide is something that I missed last week. I try to cover everything, and sometimes I do miss things. And this was not an intentional slight. In fact, I was quite excited about it. I just didn't realize it happened. But you can do the late pledges as well, which is always great for Kickstarter. So we're going to cover it, Eldertide, 1,000 Lights, a lightweight civilization board game featuring a beautifully crafted, Asian-inspired seafaring kingdom. This is from the people who did Jisogi, which is the anime studio, which some of my patrons have really enjoyed, and I thought also looked pretty good. So yeah, I'm excited to check it out and see what this one is all about. I didn't realize I was watching a feature-length movie. Hey, that's what I like to see in the background. Give me that rising sun right in the background, baby. Voidfall doing Imperium Massive Darkness, Santorini, Jisogi. Okay, that's a really nice shelf. Rodrigo, you're someone of impeccable taste. A great video. When we got to what the game was about. The standard pledge is about $100 Canadian. The retail edition is 74 Canadian. Obviously, nobody cares about that though, because there's something that's been upgraded. Probably dual player boards for an additional $25. I don't know. I like the gameplay's right at the top. Feels like a civilization game without the complexity. Plays quickly with little downtime. The setup makes it different. Sure. All right, you lead one of the 5 houses of a once mighty seafaring nation, now rising to reclaim their homeland from a devastating supernatural storm that has raged for decades. With powerful ships at their command, they embark on a mission to rebuild a network of ancient tech beacons across the scattered isles, restoring balance and retaking the archipelago. Pick up and deliver board game with elements of market fluctuation and civilization building. Each players control a foundation ship, sailing across several ports to collect and transport resources. These resources can either be exported for immediate points or invested in the construction of facilities on a player's own outposts, leading to more explosive endgame opportunities. The storm acts as a hindrance, breaking ports that can later be rebuilt and posing a direct threat to the ships themselves. Careful route planning and resource management are essential to succeed. Okay, route planning, pick up and deliver. You secretly bid how much energy you're going to spend, which will be like action points. How far their ship can travel, how strong the action they perform will be. Find the initiative order. Cool. Players remove their ship to one of the ports. Each port represents a different action with 3 potential reward outcomes. If another ship's already there, players need to pay an additional energy tax. Cool. It's like Istanbul. The storm will move, shifting position of ports. Doesn't seem like that significantly. but they'll also be broken, so it'll change the action on which you can do the ports. When you get to the ports, rather. Oh, cool. And once you use all of your resources, that's when you're able to convert, or all of your energy, rather, you can convert the resources into facilities on your own personal dashboard. Cool. 6+ energy, like that's the energy cost. Clearly, this is what you get to do. Convert 2 resources into 10 suns. Sure. Gives me Istanbul vibes in a sense by the choosing how many spots you're going to go to, each spot representing a different action space. But then I like that you're collecting things and building your own board at the same time. Yeah, it's pretty cute too. Retail edition will not have the 100 resource facility wood tokens, nor will it have the acrylic standees. They'll all be made of card. The retail edition will also not carry the stretch goals unlocked in the campaign, but double layer player boards will be good. Yeah, this looks really fun. Quite cute.
It looks cute there, dearie. Oh no, I'm in this mode again. I was playing Everdell Emmaland with Zach. There'll be a playthrough coming out. We were playing it after we did our playthrough, and then I kept on speaking in this voice, and I couldn't get out of it, and now I'm back here. Run for your lives.
Seriously, Zach was so mad. He's like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. I was like, I actually can't control it. It's not me who's speaking right now.
I will never forget that day at the Monsoon Bay when the Foundation ship set sail for the Great Trials.
Oh, that reminds me. Okay. Can I get into this tangent right now? I'm going to. Is it too early in the video for this tangent? Yes. But, so I was doing a simulation gig where people were training in mediation and arbitration. And so I was playing an HR rep who was working on the weekend. And we were having butternut squash for lunch, and I decided that my HR rep only loved butternut squash. I tucked my little napkin in the top right here so I didn't get my nice white shirt all messy. And I was like, his name was Sam. I was like, there's 2 things Sam knows in life: HR and butternut squash. Get some BNSR, butternut squash ravioli. Get it in ya. And then it just went from there. And anyway, I just wanted to share that with you all because I thought that was very funny at the time. But retelling it right now, it doesn't seem very funny. Why was I working on the weekend? It's pasta night at the hospital. Just me and the chef in my office. She's eating a can of Chef Boyardee consistently. Yeah, you're fired, but there's an opening in the cafeteria. There's something there, and I just thought it was funny, and I'm not doing it justice. And let's get back into Eldertide. And I knew it wasn't the right time to add it into this video. It didn't come up organically, and we can tell. But then when I had to give my testimony, when I was being examined and cross-examined as part of our arbitration, somebody had spilt some butternut squash on the table. And every time I looked down, like they clean up the butternut squash, but it was the pasta sauce. And every time I looked down, I saw that little stain of pasta sauce. And I thought about Sam's joy for butternut squash. And here I am being pressed about like harassment policies. And I'm like, what's the real harassment? That there's no butternut squash on this table. That somebody spilt the delicious butternut squash right in front of me. Why, I gotta find that guy. Anyway, it was very hard. It was very hard to do my job and concentrate. Oh, just like it's very hard to do this now, but I have to get it done this week. Oh man, this friggin' hoodie, so comfortable. We're not, spoiler alert, we're not talking about games this week. I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to ramble. I'm just going to chat with my friends about things that have been going on in my life and how this hoodie's cute and nice, and I like the pockets, that there are 2 pockets in it. It's not a little middle pocket, it's a 2 pocket where your middle pocket's going to go, and I think that's swell. Okay, it's a competitive strategy game for 2. You see why I need rule books. You see why I need some focus, some structure, because even with the structure, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows who's going to pop up? Maybe the Whisperer. What? We're bringing every character out right now. Oh, you never brought me. Uh-oh, this is madness. What is this day? It's just a special day, sweetie. Maggie, you're so sweet. I appreciate you coming by. And I'm not supposed to do Maggie's voice on camera. I'm supposed to leave a gap for Maggie to speak.
Yes, keep the mystery alive.
See, that's much better. I'm sorry for
it's okay, sweetie.
You.
I forgive you. Kiss,
okay,
kiss.
Kiss. Where were we?
Hey, wise guy, why don't you get back to work?
No, okay, I'm getting back to it, I promise.
Yeah, you better or I'm gonna whack you. Yeah, I'm gonna whack you.
That's the type of week it is. Now we got it all out of the way. We've alienated everybody. I don't care about alienating people. It's episode 211. If you haven't been alienated by now, well, you're stuck with me. You're a lovely pal. All right, let's go. I already know this is good. I don't even need to read this rulebook. 10 rounds. On each turn, a player may either... what a hard cut. Player may either navigate to a port, perform an action, return to the capital, refill, and reorganize. Yep, great. So place out on the board, do the action with the strength of your action, or go back to your capital and refresh all of your stuff. Oh, the capital action, the capital is on the board? I thought it was on your own board, but I guess that makes sense. It's sort of the restart section on how far you're going to venture out as well. But I guess it's pretty easy to venture out from the capital if you want to take a big, strong action as well.
My compliments to the chef.
Says the can of Chef Boyardee. Highest channel value goes first. That makes sense as well. So if you know you and a competitor are jockeying for the same action, you can bid a little bit more. I mean, or you just bid a little bit less and you pay the same amount. Maybe you always want to bid less, but that'll be important on taking specific actions. Oh, and if you have to pass through as well, I think you have to pay money. That should be pretty easy to circumvent though. Oh, cool. You can also play a secondary act as well, like a neighboring level 1 action. That seems fun. Definitely complicates things a little bit more. Cool. You can get toolkits to repair the broken ports to allow you to take the better actions. The storm feels like it'd be pretty easy to deal with, although it is random, so you don't know which way it's going to go. So maybe not. Quest card. I guess you can perform quest cards. Right. Draw 2 quest cards, keeping 1. It doesn't really say what the quests are, but I assume it's get a certain number of resources or have a certain number of towns or things built in your city. Yeah, I think this looks good. It doesn't blow me away. I'm not overwhelmed with excitement for it, but I think it looks really solid, and I think it's going to be a good production. Canada, $25 in shipping. It'd be expensive to get it to Canada, but yeah, it's a company that has been delivering on their promises. They have great taste in board games in the background. I think you're allowed to get it. You're allowed to have gotten it. Obviously a little bit expensive, but seems simple. I don't mind it as a concept if you want a little efficiency puzzle. I don't necessarily see the huge comparison to Civilization games. I guess it can because you're building kind of a tableau of different units, but it seems like it'll be wrapped up more in those quests that you're drawing and trying to complete certain things. But yeah, I think it looks fun. So if you're interested in that, that's in late pledges. I just forgot to cover it last week, and appreciate everybody who pointed it out in the comments. We've got this Mon Repos, print and play, strategic heavy roll and write about guiding sea turtles to the ocean. Only 39 people have backed it, but I know you guys like me covering print and plays. I think this legitimately looks great. If you like print and plays and if you like roll and writes, this is absolutely worth checking out. You're going to have a scoring sheet over here and a beach sheet. You're going to roll some dice. You're going to move turtles. Wherever they land, you get those symbols. You can use the symbols to either get additional actions or additional scoring bonuses at the end of the game. You're also going to be unlocking these different actions as well, which will chain things together. You're moving them as efficiently as you can along the beach while collecting the most stuff. Yeah, it seems fun. Seems like it could be in a box for sure. This might be the best print and play that I have seen, potentially. In the top 10, for sure. So that finishes Tuesday, November 11th at 11:43 a.m. If you are interested in roll and writes and print and plays, checking it out. Seems pretty sweet. All right, next up is this one. Welcome to Susberg. Gather as childhood friends in a cooperative deck building adventure to save Susberg from the strange and supernatural. I missed this. This should also have been last week because it finishes Tuesday as well. So there's no real board? I thought that was like the layout. Just says attack people. You want to play your attack cards, you want to play your defense cards, and then you want to buy additional cards. No real rule book though. No real rule book, just a weird outline of how to play. There's some preview videos, I guess you can check it out. Not really overwhelmed by this. These different character decks could be interesting, but you'd think that the low-hanging fruit of comparing it to Slay the Spire is right there of the 4 different characters with the same color schemes. And if people aren't comparing it, that means there's no possible comparison, because that's what we like to do as content creators. We say, oh, it's about the same. There's not really enough information here for me to be interested in that. But if you want to check it out yourself, that finishes Tuesday, November 11th at 11:59 p.m. Next up, we have Cretaceous Rails, the reprint, and the Cretaceous Seas expansion. Travel back in time to the Cretaceous era, build a rail network in the jungle, take time-traveling tourists on safari to see their favorite dinosaurs in the wild, and build a resort full of attractions to customize your strategy with exciting abilities. Cretaceous Rails features an innovative dual-action worker placement system, route building, tableau building, building and resource management. Utilize the resources of the Cretaceous jungle to build the optimal combination of attractions for abilities and scoring. Yeah, I remember Cretaceous Rails. This is a reprint. We should go back and look at our master list. Was in episode 113. Oh, the same was Diatoms. I think people were saying in the Discord that they were really enjoying it. Yeah, I remember that these looked really cool. Let's see what past Chris had to say about it. All right, yeah, I think it says something about a game that this was 98 episodes ago. We have been through many, what was our count? 1,500 games at that point. We're now at 3,500. So it's been 2,000 games since I've looked at this, and I didn't remember any specifics about it, but I did remember thinking, oh yeah, I think that one was good. So there was a lingering, I think it was good in my head, even though there was nothing else that was sticking there. Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, I remember thinking this did look fun. And I remember people were talking about enjoying it in the Discord, but I can't find that exact quote right now. You want to build out your rail system so that you can see the most dinosaurs, and then you want to basically collect those dinosaurs while you touch them with your rails. You're then building a little tableau over here of different bonus points, but the key here, see the multi-level tableau, the key here is their action selection. I think that's the thing that draws me in. You're going to have this board, this sideboard over here with 16 spaces, and you place your pawn on 2 of them, and you get to take 2 of those actions. That gets shuffles every time. I also like the little rubber dinos that kind of look rubbery and whatever that you would get out of the dollar store. Hey, a lower cost option. We like that because the mini edition we don't want. Retail pledge. That's for retail stores. The base game Meeple edition is $80. I don't think you need a miniature edition, but if you wanted it, you could get that as well. And way to go, Cretaceous Rails. Last time, their rulebook was hidden in the FAQs, and I was mad. And this time, it's all right on the page. Beautiful. I read this last time, and I got a good refresher of it, but I just want to peruse some things to see if there's anything that I'm vastly missing from before. I don't think I am. And you can go watch Chris of the Past, again, using that Crowdfunding Countdown master link list to go check out episode 113, when, honestly, I made some pretty good jokes in that one. Watching it back, I felt pretty good. Yeah, score victory points by capturing dinosaurs, increasing dinosaur ratings by taking tourists on train safaris, and building your resort, represented by cards. You need to build out the number of train cars you have as well, because that's what you can hold, whether you're holding tourists or dinosaurs, or clearing things away from the jungle. I think I stand by Chris of the Past, who said this one seemed fine. Shipping to the US is $15, Canada $15, UK 10, so not too bad. If you wanted that miniature edition, or the Meeple edition rather, it's still gonna be like $130, which I think it's gonna look good, but not quite for me. I'm not at like peak excitement to warrant getting it. But if you're interested, check it out. There is about the same amount. That finishes on the 12th at 12:59 a.m. Moving along to this one, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I think you know why I clicked on this. I don't care what it's about. Based on the comic by Patrick Horvath of the same name, Dexter meets Arthur in this insanely dark and intimately charming game. I don't think we're going to feel any charming. This is the story that I honestly am going to be putting a suit towards Hunter's Books and Patrick Horvath, because they clearly have taken my life story of my entire family being kidnapped by bears beneath the trees where nobody sees, and they're taunting me, okay? And I can't have that. I feel like I'm taunted, and now, oh, it's a cozy storytelling game, huh? Cozy storytelling game of when Chris's family was ripped from him, with not even a bucket of butternut squash to comfort me. Okay, now I have to watch this video. They put it under the tabletop tag just to taunt me. The terrible traitors. Oh my gosh. That was my family. The paint? What? No! A cozy storytelling game about murder. I didn't read the last part. I thought that they were just kidnapped. We know who the murderer is. It's the bear. Dark and beautiful. I can't do it. It has the structure of a board and card game with a focus on telling a story. They just throw an Alice is Missing because they know that it's popular. It's not a TTRPG. It's not a board game. It's a storytelling game. I don't think it's really giving me enough information about the physical things that you're going to interact with. But basically, you're going to sit around, you're going to tell a story, and you're like, hey, you know who I saw walking late at night? The Duck Mailman! And then it turns out the Duck Mailman was just, it's okay, he wasn't murdering you, he was just having sex with your wife. That finishes Wednesday, November 12th at 9 a.m. If that seems weird and interesting to you. Definitely seems interesting to me, but not really something that I would want to bring into my home because I have the doors locked tight against any additional bears. Moving on to 14ers. Climb mountains over 14,000 feet in this quick tableau building game. John Muir. I've never known how to pronounce his last name. Could have looked it up, but why can't you spell it like everybody else spells it? M-W-E-E-R. Muir. Okay, this looks like it has potential just in terms of how they're tucking things. It feels very Forest Shuffle to me, even though I've never played Forest Shuffle, but I think Forest Shuffle has like the 4 categories. But I might be wrong. I've never played it. You let me know if I was right. So basically, there's a market row, it looks like, and you need to have a certain skill set in order to climb that mountain. And when you climb the mountain, you can put it on whatever side you want of your card. For points or gear or plans or training. Training will give you additional ways to climb more mountains after 9 rounds. I just want to make sure there's no additional stuff that I missed. Everything has characteristics. You're also going to have these 2 counter cards, which show how far you've progressed, how high and how small. This also is a way to track your specific skills. Yeah, and then you take that ability. Cool. These are things that scale, essentially, points per X. Capstones are just like, hey, you get this many points, training, gear. I think it'd be nice, simple, easy tableau builder for sure. How much are you? It's like 37, but you have 2 copies. A print and play for $6. I think that's pretty good. And a physical copy for $20 is also pretty good. I like that. Shipping estimates, $9 to the US and then $25 to Canada. So if you're in the US, this is a viable little tableau builder. If you think it looks cool, check it out. The finishes on Wednesday, November 12th at 1 p.m. Next up, just briefly, we have an additional cat packs. This is by All or None Games, and this seems to be their biggest hit because they keep on producing so many. I know Rado talked about it a lot. Essentially, cat packs is just a little tile laying game where you're matching different cats and you're matching the edges. You want to match the like orange with orange and blue with blue, that sort of thing. Yeah, I know Rado brought it up in, I don't know, one of our R&R shows recently. I know All or None Games. I think their best game, because it's the one that got me to pull the trigger, was Hidden Arc. I really like Hidden Arc. I think that's it was quite fun. Cat Packs is never really interested in me personally, because I think it's pretty expensive for just like a bunch of cards for a very simple tile laying game. But if you're interested in tile laying games, you can check it out. The finish is Thursday, November 13th at 8:07 a.m. I've covered it multiple times, so I'm not going into detail on this section because we got to move on to Badgers. Badgers. We don't need no stinking badgers. They who control the food, control the forest. Lead badgers to their favorite snacks. 1 to 2 players, 15 minutes. Let's see. How does it work? Shuffle the forest cards and distribute them in a 3x4 grid. This is your forest with all the paths, obstacles, and food. You draw your badger card. You play your badger cards from your side towards your opponent. So it's a lane battler. Clear paths, speed up your trip. Obstacles slow you down. Opponents fight you. Your attack score has to be higher than your opponent's defense score. There's special rules. +1 to all allies for each face-down opponent. I see, and each badger wants a specific type of food, depending upon the points that they'll get. That's $40 Canadian. I don't think this looks very interesting whatsoever. I think it looks like a lane battler that doesn't seem very interesting and is only getting by on the theme. But if that seems fun to you and I missed the fun, well, check it out and scold me and spank me in the comments. That finishes on the 13th at 9 a.m. Moving along to this is the table system for board games by Filler Games, the versatile table designed by and for gamers to meet real nerds. I know it says needs. Turn the milestone of owning one into a truly accessible reality. The table system. What do they have out there? That's the Gallerist. The Gallerist is a big board. Scythe is a big board as well. It seems like a pretty small board, but a nice little portable with which has some rails and some trays. This does not seem like it is big enough to play any game. I guess like it has some card rails on the side, but I just don't understand why. I guess if you're on the beach, yeah, that makes sense. And you can put your pizza underneath, but so it just raises a table. That seems, the storage seems neat. How much are they going to ask for this? Like $300? €359, 585 Canadian, 4 height settings, all stored in the suitcase system, tool-free, quick setup for storage or transport. I just don't think it's big enough. I know size doesn't matter, but in this case, it might. And with the player boards that are just jutting out, she seems very uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's like $600. I could just get a shoebox for that. I understand. It seems like interesting quality. It's just like a big topper, but they've done these toppers before, so I'm not sure why this stands out amongst the other ones. It's doing quite well. Raised 150,000 euro from a creator who at least has made other things before, the storage system for pocket board games. I do remember that as well, which I thought was pretty neat in terms of pulling things out and having a bunch of trays if you only have a Calyx. But yeah, you can check that out if you're interested. Probably overpriced. There are a bunch of other tabletop razors as well that I think you could get for half the price. But that finishes Thursday, November 13th at 9:59 a.m. Whoa, this has raised a lot. I thought this was likely to be a bad one just based upon the art, but maybe not. This is Super Auto Pets Card Battle. Build a team of cute pets and battle your friends. All right, so this is based off of an app. You're going to buy pets from the market, and then you arrange your pets in the order in which they'll battle in your hand. And so the whole conceit of this game is to determine what your opponent is going to play, which I normally really like in games, but in this it's just, hey, are you going to play your leaf or your water? I know you only have one leaf. Are you going to do it? Boom. It feels a little less interesting, but I do like games where you have to read your opponent's mind, because I'm a touch bit psychic. That's what I've been told. You're thinking of buying a board game, but it will actually be unsatisfying. So don't do it, but you're gonna do it anyway. Was I right? Or was I right? Yeah, I mean, it says, players reveal their first pets and bonk them against each other. Each pet damages their opponent, taking into account any abilities and food they possess. This continues until one pet faints, at which point their owner reveals their next pet. The process continues. This is where the zaniness happens, as pets interact with each other in devious and unexpected ways. I don't think. Battles continue until somebody has only one pet standing. But I do like the price. It's $20, 29 Canadian. Shipping is $12 to the US. That feels reasonable. Canada's $22, so it'll double the price. It's more expensive than the game itself if you want to get to Canada. I just don't care whatsoever. 500 new backers are just coming in based around this IP. Oh, and people are getting a crap load of additional packs. No, I think it looks rather boring, to be honest. But if you're interested, that finishes Thursday, November 13th at 11:03 a.m. Next up, we have Vampire the Masquerade, Palermo Conspiracies by Teburu. You know, my disdain for the Teburu system knows no bounds. Well, it might know bounds, but it certainly knows no electronic bounds. Don't get this game. If you're thinking about this game and you think that it looks cool, you're wrong, and you will be disappointed. And when you are disappointed, I'm going to look at your YouTube history and come to your house and say, hey, did you watch episode 211 of Crowdfunding Countdown? And you're going to say, no, I must have missed that one. And then I'm going to look, check your history, see all the sorts of things that you've been watching, in which case, fair. But me being one of those things, here's your big fat I told you so. And then I'm going to slap you on the back of the head, much like that other filth that you've been watching, and send you to bed without any supper. That's going to be your punishment. Also, I'll take your social security number and all your credit cards and go buy myself something. This is what you're signing up for. All right, keep your secret. The Teburu system is still not functional, and they make you pay so much for a hunk of junk that doesn't work the way you want it to work. You're going to be moving these pieces on the board, and the system's supposed to know where it goes, and it won't, and it'll be annoying, and it'll be like you're playing a game for a video game for the system itself. They say you can learn quickly by playing. No rule book, which again is great, except for people who hate quick starts, who need any direction or any control when they play games. If you're interested in anything strategic and you want to play the game rather than have the game play you, well, check it out. Just kidding, don't buy it. It's like the game app communicates with smart dice to auto-calculate skill checks. What that really is they're like, okay, you have to do a skill check. Pick up your dice. Shake your dice. Are you shaking long enough? Now throw. It slows down the game rather than just being able to pick up dice and roll it. And it's charging you 170 euros for a bunch of minis with magnets in them, with chips in them, without even buying the system. It's the biggest con that the devil ever pulled, and if you get this, you're going to have a bad time. And inexplicably, there are some Teburu people who enjoy it. And drop down why in the comments below, because I found it just mind-numbingly atrocious. Why would I spend $500 to see some flashing lights on an app? Zero fun playing this system, and I don't think anybody should. And if you do, I think I need to come to your house and give you a hug, because clearly something's wrong. Clearly something is wrong. And And I'm here for you. I am. I care about you. That finishes Who Cares, because you shouldn't get it. Let's move on to this one. Grifoni, Blades for Hire, a tactical Euro game with story-driven gameplay for 2 to 4 players. Build your band and shape the fate of the Grifoni Company. This is from Ludus Magnus Studios, which is normally real big box, but this looks more like a Garpil game. Competitive worker placement. In Grifoni Blades for Hire, players command rival companies seeking fame and fortune across 3 narrative-driven acts. So it's like the Witcher Paths of Destiny. Recruit and equip mercenaries, complete daring tasks across diverse regions, and influence the balance of power to shape the unfolding story. Your choices will determine not only your band's legacy, but the fate of the entire campaign. Dun dun dun. Grifoni in 5 minutes? Yeah, I got 2.5 minutes. Yeah, it's exactly, the story is exactly like Witcher Paths of Legacy, where it's like somebody does something and it has a very minimal effect on scoring. Okay, that was a good 5-minute overview though. I quite like that as an overview. There are some key elements at play here. Number one, it's a worker placement game, but it's a delayed worker placement game is what I like to call it. Maybe that's the actual choice, because you are going to be assigning your workers and then they will be activated from 1 to 8. So there's section 1 and section 2, section 3, you can assign them anywhere, but then they activate in order. And so the later they are, the later they will activate, but you might want to claim that late game spot for some specific reason. So it just kind of slows down worker placement, in my opinion, because you don't get to get the things immediately. You have this sort of cascading chain of actions that will happen. You're going to be recruiting mercenaries to your band. This is also an interesting system, is any equipment that you put into them, you have to put into your wagon, which you need to leave spaces to travel to choose where to go to. There'll be different spaces with different quests, and so you have to bring your mercenaries to those spaces and clear the quest with a strength. And when you do, you get to do a little narrative choice or whatever. And finally, you have some minor set collection in terms of completing goals. Your equipments and your mercenaries will have set collection on them as well. Standard Edition 39, that feels really nice. 64, what's in the Standard Edition? This is the deluxe version. Okay, the deluxe version has plastic trays, wooden tokens, and premium cardboard and UV spot. Sure. The regular edition, okay, what's in the box? The Standard Edition. Right, you just have resource tokens, so no wood and no plastic tray. That's fine. You can get these at the dollar store. These plastic trays are fine, but you can get Dollar Tree bins for $1 single that you don't need these plastic trays. They are essentially the same thing. That doesn't seem organized at all or streamlined whatsoever, to be honest. Yeah, I think 39 is actually a really decent price. 64 Canadian, obviously nobody's going for it because everybody's inexplicably going for the all-in. Shakespeare in War will be revealed during the campaign. Well, it hasn't been yet. Shipping in Canada is €27. So yeah, really almost doubles it. Rather. USA is €23. Maybe that's why people are like, I can't justify the Wanderer for those shipping prices. It would be still about $100. But yeah, this is a surprising deviation from Ludus Magnus Studios. I was expecting a big game filled with bloat of minis, and they're not doing that. So I think that's great. They probably don't think it's great because it hasn't earned them much money, but I think it's great. So it looks like a decent enough game. Set collection, I like the wagon management. I think the narrative choices are silly. But if you want a little bit of a narrative choice, there you go. That finishes. You're not going to do a narrative choice either. It's like, ooh, you get to do a narrative choice. You're not. There's like 3 outcomes. Oh, it's like a scythe card. It says, hey, did you punch the squire in the face? Did you steal his mech? Or did you steal his food? You're like, oh, I need food right now, so I'm going to steal his food. That's what it's going to boil down to. But anyway, if you're interested, the finish is Thursday, November 13th at 5 p.m. All right, this is Dino Feast. It doesn't look that good. Everybody has 3 cards. It's like the least interesting part of the Grizzled, and that they decided to turn into a competitive game where you'll have 3 cards, left, right, or food. There's a big dinosaur who's going to eat one of you. And if you play left, you're going to push the dinosaur to the left. If you play right, you're going to push the dinosaur to the right. If you play food, if it lands on you, you're safe. Don't get got, right? If people play 3 right and 2 left, it's going to go 1 space right. It's going to eat whoever's next to them. And then if you die, you can still play cards just for fun. There's a print and play for $3 though, and 1 copy is $12 because essentially it's just a bunch of small little cards. I don't think it looks that interesting, but in fact, I don't think it looks interesting at all. But maybe small children would enjoy it. That's November 13th at 8:39 p.m. We're moving on to this one, Stack City, the 3D city building board game. Stack, strategize, and soar to new heights in this thrilling City Building Showdown. So they're trying to do like a Foundations of Rome sort of thing. Yeah, it's not really a good rule book. Maybe we do watch this. It's already really bothering me that we're going counterclockwise. Okay, yeah, so it's confusing because there are 4 different colors of building, and you'd think because there are 4 different colors of player piece that you were only going to be building your own player piece, but you're not. You can build whatever you want. You're going to be collecting these permits, which then you spend to put cities on the board. Anytime you put a city on the board, you will get that specific card, which will give you more permits as your income. So you're building a little engine, grabbing as much money as you can, and trying to move up the highest you can on the track. I think it's fine. What are we looking at? $49 for the base game. That's 70 Canadian, and then shipping is going to put it to 100. Certainly not that fine. It's like if it was like $30. Well, the shipping is, but if the game was, then maybe I would consider it. I think we can see with all these quotes on the campaign page too, it's a lot of, I like it. Yeah, I like it. I think it's also worth looking at the games in the background of the how to play video, because I think those are around the weight of the game as well. So if you look at that stack of games behind them and you're like, hey, though I love all those games seem amazing, then this is definitely one to check out. That finishes Thursday, November 13th at 9 p.m. Moving along, we're not covering Catnap because it decided to do the $1 pre-pledge, and so we hate it. Nope, that doesn't have a rule book, so we're not doing that. This, I assume, is just exploding kittens with sharks. Penguins can't fly. Who murdered the turtle? The last meow. Well, it's not exploding kittens, at least there's that. It's a slight game of taking cards, putting them face down, and not running over 10. So you're trying to swap cards with people so that when the food frenzy happens, you have exactly 10 points and then you win the game. Why is there a bundle that you can spend 190 Australian dollars on? I don't know. The base game for that is 30 Australian. That's about 20 US. There's no shipping information on the campaign page. Will be collected after the campaign. They're like, just get it. It's going to be double. You're going to have to play double, but we don't want to tell you. Just get it, and then we'll figure it out afterwards. It's just fair that way. That's Friday, November 14th. It has some minimal potential, I feel, but if you want a game that's better than this and deals with memory with cards face down, get Scram or Silver. 2 fantastic games. Next up, we're not going to cover Saurozoic Warriors Arena again because it did the $1 pre-pledge, which really scares me because I think there was a marketing company, Zach and I are doing a really great playthrough for an upcoming game from Vala Marketing, and I don't think they're doing a $1 pre-pledge because they better not be, because it's one of the best playthroughs we've ever made. So we're not covering that, but we are covering this. John Company and Molly House reprint. 2 of the most evocative historical board games are back for a new print run. I guess Molly House has never been on Kickstarter. I think it was on BackerKit, so that's how you can bring it to Kickstarter right now. I have played both of these, and I actively really dislike both of these, and I would really like to like both of these. It's a tough part. I like Cole so much. I think Cole is brilliant. I love when he speaks. I just simp. But John Company, I understand them framing this as like a work of art, but unfortunately board games also need to be fun to play and not be able to put the players in positions of just like ruining the game for everybody if they want to. And I think both of these have kind of that flaw. I also think both of these have this flaw because they deal with a design space where you have to do things or everybody loses, right? That sort of semi-co-op idea that the game can win, that there are things that must be accomplished or you lose. However, as a player, you're never motivated to do those things. And if you do those things, you are helping everybody else and not yourself. I think Molly House does it a little bit better. I've played both of these exactly one time, but it then becomes sort of an auto decision of, oh, okay, I'm first player right now. I'm leading. I should do the thing that will make everybody not lose because I'm in the lead. When you're no longer in the lead, then you're no longer incentivized to do that, because why would you just push that tracker forward so that somebody else could win, right? From a strategic sense. So Molly House is a game where you're holding, well, I guess John Company's here first. John Company, you're playing like an East Indies trading company who wants to basically take all the wealth that they can from India and then retire and run away and just be an awful, awful person. The downside of this with John Company and how our game ended is it's just you can give one player has the power to basically assign all the wealth to people. And if that one player, like near the end of the game, just gets that role, then they just can end the game. And I guess other players need to not let that happen. But at that point, they're so worn down from the boring decisions of the game that they just allow it. That's my experience with that one. Molly House is interesting in concept. You're going to be having these parties where you want to be playing cards, you want to be making different sets of cards between you all, and whatever sets you make, you're going to score points for those sets. You're having a soiree, you want the most happiness points, but also all throughout, if you're adding in additional cards, you want to remove cards from the deck, because if too many come up, then the police will raid your soirees, and you can have to be turned into an informant who will just be hung if you roll a dice at the end of the game. At the end of the game, you have a card, and it's like, well, if I roll a 1, I get hung, unless I went to the corner of the board and decided to be an informant, which, if you're a untrustworthy player like me, people just sort of auto-inspect. So, I don't know. The part that I didn't like about Molly House was that I thought there would be more emphasis on this potential turning of traitor and the social implications of turning traitor against the queer community, which really didn't come up. The other part that I didn't like is that it was essentially a roll and move game. You had options about which way to move. You can move backwards or forward, but there still are like, oh, what if a really good item comes up which can stop you from being hung or murdered, but you just roll a 2 instead of a 1? What are you going to do? And somebody else rolls the 2. Or the 1 before you. You know, the items felt a little bit overpowered, and getting to them and being able to actually do the actions you wanted felt very random because of the roll and move aspect of it. So yeah, I unfortunately don't like either, which is a real shame, because I know that they took nearly a decade of research and development. Like, they researched the source material in such a lovely way that I wish I liked the games. I just really, really don't like them at all. And I think they get hyped because of the attention to detail and because of the care at which they do enter the design space. But I think their design space is just one that I don't like. And it is directly because of that idea that, oh, okay, there are sort of auto turns. You know, there are auto things that you just have to do, which I like a little bit more flexibility in my games. Or on the converse side, I thought there was going to be so much flexibility with John Company, and so much negotiating, and then it's just like, oh, all right, that person decided to not give you any money, so enjoy doing nothing. So I don't know. I'm glad that people seem to like these games and get them and really enjoy them. From a gameplay perspective, I hate them. From a thematic perspective and a research perspective, I love them. Unfortunately, I play games for the gameplay perspective, and for those other things, I could read a book. But if you're interested, the finish is Friday, November 14th at 4 p.m. Just some of my biggest disappointments in board gaming, and I have to be honest about that. Even though I love Cold dearly, like desperately, and I love the dedication at which they approach the subject matter. I think it's just awesome. But the games just don't hit for me. Oh, next up, we've got this one, Upside Down Kingdom. Faith comes alive at game night. Well, yes, you don't want to murder that prostitute, Faith. Now, do you? Oh, sorry, this is a cooperative board game and storybook that helps kids discover the gospel through play, story, and teamwork. Just scratch that last comment. Faith, get out of here. Faith, I paid you for 1 hour. What are you still doing here? Okay, sure. There's a little storybook too. Often, and this is no shade, this is surprising that it's raised so much money, because I don't think I've ever seen a religious game be actually good. There might be one, but really, they tend to be preachy and just being a vehicle to preach in the truest sense of the word, and don't care about any gameplay at all. So let's see if this game is objectively bad or if it has any merit. Its track record of religious games, not looking that good. Looks like it's Candyland. Sorry, victory happens when they all come together. Guess Faith is here. It helps Christian parents disciple their children, not through lectures, but through play. And it's $70. You want to make sure that you're kind and righteous and a peacemaker You want to make sure that you proceed with hope, grace, and love. All good things. You want to make sure that you hate members of the LGBTQ. Wait, where's that? What did that? Wait a second. That's not it. Molly House. Molly House, where are you? But you know what makes God angry? When your Duke's screen face. Screen time addiction. Excessive indulgence in phones, TVs, tablets, or video games. Yeah, you sinner. Queen Quarrel. If you speak up even a little bit, God will smite you. Yeah, Madam My Way, distrusting others and needing it to do it your way. Encourages honest self-reflection without the shame. Well, that's nice. That's actually really good. This right here makes me give it the seal of approval. As somebody who was raised Catholic, you need it. You need that without the shame. Well, it doesn't really tell you what to do, but I assume you roll a dice and flip things up on a board. Unfortunately, it doesn't hit the standards for good gameplay. You were so close. You were not close at all. We're in the final stretch of my tabs. That's nice. Of course, we have quite a few to cover still, but that's just nice for me. Next up, we have Drawing Dead, the solo game of the month. After meeting an untimely end in a saloon poker game turned deadly, you awaken purgatory, imbued with new powers and a set of poker cards made from your very soul. You must play your way through 3 gates of purgatory and into the afterlife. See, now this is how you do a religious game. This is what happens. This is what's going to happen. However you die, whatever is around you, your soul turns into that thing when you die. And then you have to use that to battle your way out of purgatory. In case you choose your character, each one will have their own abilities and upgrades. Like this is, hey, if your health is low, you're going to get these bolt tokens. No, that is, deal cards into the river and draw 3. Use them to manipulate the river, unlock gates, and fill your bank. Here's the thing, is the river this full thing, or is the river like the river card? The flop, the turn, the river, right? Activate abilities by forming poker hands. Use those abilities to defeat enemies. Gain rewards by defeating minions, leveling up by defeating bosses. Download rulebook, yes please. 1 to 2 player. They're only billing it as 1 player on that. Okay, deal 6 cards. Then the enemies will attempt to use the cards in the river to activate their abilities. Got it. So they'll try to do things. This one will try to make a small straight. This one has a weak ability. So they're always going to have something to activate. Maybe it'll be big, maybe it'll be small. Cool. Okay, so you can play cards to the river, building up the river, giving you more potential to activate your own actions. Each card will have its own action as well. And then you have to destroy the enemies, just dealing damage. This feels 20 Strong-esque in terms of how you're going to be moving through things, but I think I would like the drawing cards a little bit more than the rolling dice, for sure. A fun little poker-centric game as well as you deal with the baddies. I think that looks fun. Also, they have this month's add-on. They're doing a printed version of Dungeon Ball Legend, where you are an orc quarterback, a quarkerback, if you will, which they said in the video was very much like the hunted system as well. No rulebook on that one because it already exists. Shipping to the USA is $5, $6 to Canada. They are charging tariffs. I know at one point they said they wouldn't, but they are. So I always like to remind people, not to harp on it, but I just, I don't know what their messaging is, but I know it has been, oh, there won't be any tariffs, and then there were tariffs. So I don't like that, and so that's why I'm going to have to harp on it until I've heard otherwise, until I see it on the page, because I don't want viewers or consumers to be surprised. But yeah, I think this Drawing Dead actually looks really good. And you can get it as a print and play too for $5, which might even be a great way to go. You just can use it with a standard deck of cards or apply the abilities to your deck of cards, your poker cards, and just be facing the bosses as well. I think that does look really fun. So yeah, quite intrigued by that as the solo game of the month. One of the ones that I've been more interested in, maybe just because I like poker, but that finishes on the 15th at 12:59 a.m. Next up, we got Journeys Afar, the Ketsueki. Welcome to Journeys Afar, where infinite worlds filled with boundless possibilities are connected by a single road. The Ketsueki. Like Jared Ketsueki. No, but where's the rule book? I like how they're doing what they did in Dead of Winter. The person draws something next to you, gives you a choice, and then you get the results of that choice. Hate that there's no rule book here. Seems like a pretty simple game with that basic rules overview. I do like that you're going to get to go to different places as well. So everyone's going to choose a land, and so you start in that land based upon your character, but you can travel to other worlds, fight different people, have different encounters. The battle system seems pretty simple. You get to roll a dice, and then you say, oh, do I need to roll another dice? I guess I spend another one of my action points, spend another action point, spend another action point until you hit however difficult that particular character is. Yeah, lower lower non-conflict competition. You're just trying to get to 15 points the quickest. It's $79, 112 Canadian, and then plus shipping. US is 20. Canada's 25. Well, US is 20 plus 3 for tariffs, so about the same. I don't know. It hasn't raised a lot, and I can see why, because it seems a little like move and read, and move and read, and move and read, and that's fine for a couple experiences, but to me that isn't going to have long-lasting gameplay. I could be wrong, but I think it's just going to be fine. That finishes Friday, November 14th at 7 p.m. If you're in for a narrative adventure, though, if you really want a narrative adventure, then this is what to check out. Doesn't tickle my fancy. Probably would have tickled if it had a rule book and I could have delved deeper into it. Still an insane decision for campaigns not to have. We have the Button Shy reprint campaign over on GameFound. Late 2025, reprinting some out-of-print games and bringing back old favorites. Additional games added via backer votes. So they're bringing back an Otter 1, Cortesa, Otter Chaos, The Maiden in the Forest, Why I Otter, Banned Books, Otter, I don't even know her, Otter Your Business, Otter Space, Otterly Silly, Sprawl Otterpus, Otter Motter. Cortesa can be used to make a variety of products. It's a miniature worker placement game. Not with miniatures, but miniature because it's small. It's a little wallet game. Each round, players place their workers, deciding the actions they will take. The actions are resolved from left to right. When an action is resolved, the worker is placed in the stack. After all actions are resolved, the player whose worker is at the bottom of the stack chooses one active action to rest. It will not be available to use in the next round. The previous rested action becomes active again. Then you place the workers in the stack one by one. So you're determining the order of your workers in which you'll get to place them again. You're determining some flexibility there. I think that actually seems pretty good. We have the Maiden in the Forest, puzzly solo game. You're laying out your cards in a circle. Use objects and spells to rearrange and position the orientation of tree cards, and you have to flip all tree cards before the time runs out. So you can swap cards so that you can then flip cards using these spells to try to deal with flipping cards in a circle. Yeah, that seems all right. Why I Otter, quick playing Trick Taker. It's a rock, paper, scissors style of trick taking game. You can see the tricks, the trumps that will override the other tricks. It's getting late. If you win the trick, you get to get more cards. If you lose the trick, you get to determine what's going to be the end game scoring. So you have to find that. Another one. Oh, because it's another one. Another one, like DJ Khaled. Okay, so whatever cards you take into your den have scoring conditions on them for that one. And we have Otter Chaos. You'll play and compare otters to stack the final vote in your favor, like a little tug of war. And then Banned Books. You have to stop the powers that be from banning your books. 2 of the 3 powers and playing cards to manage your tableau. Yeah, not bad. I don't think 18 card Trick Takers ever interest me. I just don't think there are enough cards for it to actually be interesting. But I think the Maiden in the Forest looks good. I think this Cortesa looks pretty good. So yeah, check those out if you want. That finishes on the 15th, 10:30 a.m. I'm not looking at this. I just can't do it. It's a game about B-17 bombers, just World War II games or World War II themes. I just, like, my eyes slide off them like they're made of butter, but not good butter because I don't want to eat them. I don't want to stick them directly into my mouth hole. This is a high-stakes adventure in the board game edition of this all-time classic World War II combat flight simulator for micropros. I think I would rather die. I like that the rulebook's here. It seems like a streamlined campaign page, but again, I think I don't care whatsoever. I can't bring myself to care, but I'm still going to leave it in the links down below because I think it's worth talking about and covering. If that gets you all a Twitter, well, write your little review down in the comments. Why don't you do something for once? And your mother. I was watching Survivor the other day, which I'm still friggin' 3 episodes behind because I've been so busy, but I finally got to watch an episode, which I was very excited about. But I just pictured, like, it's a standard, I'm at the tribe swap where there's a standard tribe swap and there's a tribe in the majority. And so you're pretty much down to 2 people. And then they vote one of the people out and they all come back. It's like, I hope you're doing okay. And I pictured myself at that point in Survivor going, as soon as you get back to the beach, going, and your mother, and your mother. And you're like from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, if you know that reference. Anyway, we're moving on. Oh yeah, I remember Troll and Folklore Falls for the art. Here's another escape room style game, escape room style mystery game set in a dinosaur park as well. It's £63, a whole 3-episode adventure. Woof, 117 Canadian. Is there a 1-episode adventure? There's no 1-episode adventure, is there? It's just the 3-episode adventure. And the cheapest you can get it is $100. But I guess if it's 3 episodes, it works out to $30 each. As you investigate the disappearance of a scientist at Dinosaur Park, there's a ton of these that pop up on Kickstarter and crowdfunding. And I always put them in here. You should let me know if you want me to stop putting them in here, honestly. I don't know if it's ever worth covering because usually it's, hey, we don't know anything about this. Good luck. But I always like pointing them out so that you know that they're out there, and if it interests you, well, you can check it out. I think it's obvious that there shouldn't have been a rule book. It was weird that they have a rule book section. Is that just for me? We get it. It's an escape room. You open the box and you try to figure out the mystery. That's it. But yeah, that finishes Sunday, November 16th at 2 a.m. If you're interested, I can't critique this either. It says, evolve, sabotage, and win the monsters race back a 9-year-old's dream. Oliver is 9 years old, and he dreams of becoming a game maker. This is so sad. I love to create games and draw silly monsters for my brother. A little while ago, I lost my homemade card deck, and some kids at the playground tore them up. It was really sad, but my mom told me we could turn adversity into opportunity. So I'm using my own savings as allowance to make my first game evolving monsters so no one has to lose a game they love? Oliver, I wanted to make something real that nobody could take away. This game is my dream project, and I hope it's just the beginning of many more. This is just the beginning. My dream is to create many more games for everyone to play. Will you support my first step? And the picture of the slide with all of his torn up homemade cards. He's been learning spelling. You're going to play monsters in front of you. You're going to try to evolve them. You can steal, shuffle. It's another play a card and do a zany thing. Come on, Oliver. And $20, $20 US, 29 Canadian. Singapore, because it's my home. Canada, Singapore dollars, $12. It'd be like 40 to get this. Sock Squad. It says 9-year-old to 9-year-old. You're drawing a game so much fun. Thank you for supporting my game too. Maybe when our games are ready, we can virtually game party playing each other's games. We should. We might be 12 hours apart, but we'll make it happen. No, you're crying. I'm very happy for Oliver that he's getting his dream. I'm very happy that it says back a 9-year-old's dream right on the top. So I didn't start by doing something different. If you're interested, check that out. That's Sunday, November 16th at 10:59 a.m. I need to take a break to cry. Luckily, this won't make me cry. We have Plakks Hockey, which editing Chris needs to remember. They always send me a referral code. I don't know why. And then they ask me, when are you covering our game? I'm like, I'm just going to cover it in Crowdfunding Countdown, whether you send me a link or not. I don't care. I'm not going to push I never have pushed their games for it. I've always been like, too expensive. But they still keep coming back and giving me a referral link, which I just don't understand. I clearly haven't made a sale for them, but here we are. We're at Plakks Hockey. Myself and the lovely Matt Laca got a real friggin' foosball hockey table, which might still be in Halifax, because I don't know if he ever sold it. But this is what this reminds me of. You just have a little hockey puck and you flick your hockey puck. That's it. It's just like little tactile games. They're all dexterity games. But again, they have like a runaway leader mechanism, because it's just awful. When they score, they have to take a little point away, and then it makes it easier for you to score on them. So it should really be the opposite. Anyway, it looks, fun enough. How expensive is it? €25. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. $41 Canadian. I think it's like more of a gimmick than a game, or more of a gimmick than a long-lasting game, I should say. But Denver likes it, so yeah, I think this is funny. They're making very small versions of flickable games, good for a cottage, good for dexterity style stuff. Use your little hockey stick. That's all there is to that one. If you're interested, check it out. The finish is Sunday, November 16th at 11 a.m. All right, next up, we've got the Crimson Queen. 5 kingdoms clash in a trick-taking battle full of chaos, strategy, and sabotage. Only one can rule Wonderland. Okay, so it's a must-follow trick-taking game where all the cards will have different abilities. Some will give you negative points. Some will be specific to set collections. Like if you get the Mad Hatter, the Tea Party, then I think in the set collection of all the cards that you've assembled, then you can get a bunch more points. It would be insane if it was just win a trick with all those characters, because if you saw one of them, you just wouldn't play the other one. I guess you have to if you have to. Then there are also a bunch of chaos. You can get chaos cards and be like, nope, you don't win the trick. And they go, okay, why am I playing this game? It's all random. Oh, it's an expansion too. It's not in the base game. Yeah, just get the base game. Who cares about the chaos cards? Chaos cards seem like they suck. Don't do that. Get the base game, yeah. Base game's just $20, $29 for Trick Taker, so I think that's okay. The White Queen's Gambit just adds in additional suits. You win by reaching 150 points or having the highest score at the end, whenever the end is. Sure, shipping estimates, US is 12. Canada, I guess, is the rest of the world for 22. So double this would be $60 to get it. Not really interested. There are a bunch of Trick Takers which do that zany thing. Everything has a ability, and I don't mind that as a concept, but if I'm playing a trick-taking game, it's because I want to count cards. Really, maybe you get really good at it and counting the abilities, but yeah, it seems fine. The finish is November 17th at 10:59 p.m. Only 16 people have backed this. I just briefly glanced through it. It's surprising. I think this studio also makes good. This guy makes good games. Okay, choose the value secretly. Yeah, you're basically just you're choosing what direction to move secretly, and then filling up the board and trying to block your opponents. Seems fine. It's a little print and play. I think if you like area control, this is a very solid thing. A good potential. I mean, there's nothing that you really need to buy. You've seen the whole game, and you could just not print it. You could not pay the $3 or $4 and just draw a grid yourself. But also, it's $4 and it has a graphic design for you, so you might as well just get it too if it's interesting to you. Not many people care about it though, but if you do, that finishes Tuesday, November 18th at 11:06 p.m. I thought for sure this was a $1 pre-pledge. Oh, it was Catnap that called me angry, misinformed, and loud. That's who it was. I'm looking through our Discord channel of all the ones that have done the $1 pre-pledge because I really thought I saw it, but I guess not. That's nice. That's good. Okay, Legends of the Seas by Arcada Studio. What have they done? Oh, Spark Riders. Okay, that makes sense. I remember Spark Riders. They like their interactive apps. That makes sense. Where shall we sail? All aboard the ship Sailor, turbulent seas and kraken attacks await you in this fast-paced cooperative hybrid game for 1 to 4 players. Wait a minute, is it just Spark Riders in a different skin? Because it might be if they're on the outsides. I think it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's just the same game. It is exactly the same thing as Spark Riders. Yeah, they're going to be... Well, that's easy. There are going to be things around the outside of your ship that will attack you. Holdor, not Hodor. It's not surprising this isn't doing as well because everybody who wants it already has it. Yeah, literally the same thing. Sure, that's easy. That's great. I already know all of it. 32 euros isn't bad for the single thing. You're just getting a 2D ship instead of a 3D ship, which you absolutely don't need. You don't need any of this stuff. It's all going to be generated by the app. And it's going to say, hey, it's attacking your starboard side, or the aft side, or the smo nest, the ship sail masts, a paper play mat, 3 cardboard tiles, character standees, easy peasy. So for that, $53 to get the core game, I like that. I think that's the most affordable it may have ever been. So if you're interested in the Spark Rider system, sure. I remember thinking that it looked fine. It's sort of a pandemic style. You run around, you have to keep the sections of your ship from exploding, using actions to keep things running, and then divvying actions in terms of what do you attack. A little bit of randomness and unknown from the app, but you'll get some hints about where people are coming from. Sure, it's fine. You get to perform 1 movement, 1 action, 1 help. Help! Oh, that's fun. You're drawing damage tokens from a bag too. So there's that randomness element. Not dice rolling, but bag pulling is always fun. That makes sense. Legends of the Seas seems all right. Yeah, I cover Spark Riders a couple times on the channel too, so that's why this is just a bit of a tertiary look. But if you're interested, that finishes on the 18th at 11 a.m. And also on the 18th, our final one, we have Terra Mystica, the special edition. It has yet to cross $1 million Canadian. And the reason being because the normal Terra Mystica you can get rather than paying double for it here for almost no reason. You do get dual layer player boards, which I think is going to be nice. I really love the look at all this stuff you're going to get. But by the way, this is just a representation, and it's only going to be in 2 boxes because we're going to put all the other stuff in the boxes because the boxes, these actually don't have anything in them. But it looks like you're getting a lot of stuff. Each faction has their own unique artwork screen printed onto durable wooden components. Honestly, I think these meeples, this wooden edition, looks really ugly. And that's a shame. But it's not that much of a shame because you can get it. You can get Terra Mystica for $80 Canadian right now. You can get Age of Innovation. Well, it was a $120 Canadian, but that's still cheaper. You can get Age of Innovation for cheaper than this Terra Mystica Special Edition. And Age of Innovation is just like the objectively new designed Terra Mystica. They just made Terra Mystica again, but they took all the lessons that they learned with Gaia Project and they made a whole new game out of it. And the fact that you can get that for cheaper than this Terra Mystica, I don't know why you wouldn't. Terra Mystica is great. Like, I love Terra Mystica. I think it's super fun. It's still in my top 60 games. And the dual layer player board, I think, is what's probably bringing some people in. But you've survived for a long time. All these buildings look really ugly. I prefer just the blocks, the different shapes of the previous one, but that's probably because of my familiarity with the game. The bridges at least look a little bit nicer because they actually look like bridges instead of stick. But I don't know. I've also never needed any of the expansions for Terra Mystica. I've never felt the need. I've always had a great time playing Terra Mystica. I've played it a ton of times on BGA, and I still play it. Haven't played it in a while, but yeah, it just, while Puerto Rico and Agricola and Castles of Burgundy also feel unnecessary to me, this feels maybe even more unnecessary because Age of Innovation exists. You did the better one already, right? Like the updated better one exists with more choices. So I'm just so confused why people are getting it. And if you're interested in it, you can get Age of Innovation at your store right now for cheaper rather than waiting a year. Also, my patrons were bringing up that Steamforged Games has like 10 outstanding projects right now, and they did a really weird thing in the update. Oh, the insert's revealed. Okay, cool. Where's this update? They were like, we get that nobody's buying this game, but we need a cash infusion, so we're gonna knock off $100 off the price, which I love. I love that $100 has been removed off the price. I think that's fantastic for the town founder pledge. I think it's exceptional. And they're just saying, listen, we're giving you a big deal, but why was it $100 more? And you were just hoping to get people to pay that much for it. And now you've cut it back because nobody was buying it. But that combined with all of the outstanding projects that they have, some people were speculating that it could be the way of the Kaman. You know? I don't know. I just flag that as a potential. It just feels really weird. Yeah, prices are set at what the market will pay when the company needs to survive. They were set to make a high profit off this at higher price points, but the market didn't want to pay that. So they reviewed their margins, all the costs of running a business, and the needs of making a profit, and they adjusted the price down to a level that still worked for them. That's what I hope as well. I think it is great that they did lower the price. Like, I think companies have, like, Cosmoctopus will let people buy the expansion in their campaign for an expansion, which was an odd choice. But the fact that it was $100 more, this town founder pledge, right, was sort of wildly shocking. I guess the Terraformer pledge is €200, £200, and then the town founder gets you the metal coins and the playmat. And then they're showing again the wooden pieces here, but like you get the wooden pieces in all of the games because that's part of the game. I love when companies do this. They're like, listen, this is the better version because you're getting all this stuff when all that stuff is like also in all the pledges. Like, it's in the Settler pledge as well. But you're like, oh, I need all the stuff. It's got all the pictures in front of it. But like, it's most of that is in here as well, which I just think is weird. It's just a confusing thing. But hey, they made almost $1 million Canadian out of it, and I bet they will break that soon. But yeah, I mean, this, like, I'm just confused. I'm just confused at a lot of this campaign, and like, you can get it so much cheaper, looking better. You can get the improved version of it for cheaper. Like, this game is in my top 60 of all time, and I don't understand why anybody would purchase this. And that should tell you, like, I actively love this game. I think it's awesome, but this just feels very weird to me. So. But hey, at least there's an insert. So if you're interested in that finishes on the 18th at 1 p.m. And that's it. That is it for the week. Now every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I think is the most interesting, and the pick for you being the thing I think if you got, you would regret the least. And I don't know about this week. There wasn't anything that really drew me in. However, I will go through and give it the customary grunt down to see if my memory fails me, which it definitely is. Yeah, no, yeah, no, God, don't do it. Yeah, no, absolutely not. I was trying to be loud, misinformed, and angry there. Nah, absolutely not. No, yeah, war, tears, sure, nah. and why? This is a tough one. I don't think there's a pick for me. I could kind of force a pick for me, but nothing in here. Like, if it was on my shelf and I looked at my shelf and I looked at my shelf of shame, I would pick none of these before anything else on my shelf of shame. And I got some duds on my shelf of shame. I already know that I'm not that interested. So there really isn't a pick for me. The pick for you, I do think, will maybe be Drawing Dead. Solo games of the month are always pretty cheap. I think the poker aspect of this is interesting. If you're a solo player, you might be interested in this. The art is cool. I mean, there's not going to be that much art in the game because it's just going to be poker cards, but like the base art is cool. I think there's going to be more art in the trailer than there ever would be in here, but still, yeah. I'll give this as a tentative pick for you if you're a solo gamer. If not, I don't really see a pick for you. I get that Eldertide, some people were excited about it as well. That's the closest. I get that it's the closest. I think that one's going to be decently solid. So I'm just doing that too, from some of my patrons who I know have backed it. And I think it seems fine, so sure. But yeah, definitely no pick for me. I was pretty underwhelmed by this week.
If only there was a game about that butternut squash, eh?
Sam from HR, everybody. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the week. I hope you're having a great week. I gotta go to bed. Happy to be here. My name's Chris George. I do not have a catchphrase.
But you know Sam from HR does, eh? How about that BSNR? BNSR? That's the one. Sam gets a little confused. He hasn't had his Ravies yet.
You know I'm gonna keep on doing it until we both think it's funny, right? That's just the fate that you've signed up for. I'm sorry to tell you.